you for coming to our board meeting tonight. We can all stand for the pledge of allegiance. The pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our first item tonight is a public hearing expenditure of funds for the proposed 2016-17 budget. We will now conduct a public hearing on the 2016-17 adopted budget, and therefore I declare this hearing open at 7:14 p.m. If there are no objections from my fellow board members, I would offer the floor to Nancy Carney, Superintendent of Schools, who will deliver a brief presentation on the budget that will go before voters for approval or disapproval on May 17th. Ms. Carney.
Thank you, Dr. As the board is aware, we've done our budget presentations over the last months. And this is just a brief summary before the board adopts the budget this evening, and just a review of the 2016-17 budget for the proposed budget for next year. Oh, wrong one. This is Robert. You're doing the budget here first?
Oh.
I'm glad you have your sneakers on. Thank you. Okay, so we'll just briefly talk about our tentative expenditures, our state aid and tentative revenue, and also obviously our budget vote is next Tuesday, May 17th. Okay, so here you can see our total proposed expenditures, and as we presented, our general support will be up about 5%, our instruction and administration up 3.89%, our transportation up 3.75%, and our benefits and debt service up 3.10%. The entire expenditure budget to budget increase is up 3.78%. And here you can see the three-part budget, which has changed very little from the 2015-16 school year to the 16-17 school year. As always, the biggest part of the budget is on our program, and you can see the change in capital has gone up slightly because of all the bond work from 14.76% to 15.42%, and our administrative costs have gone up slightly from 8.33% to 8.71%. And here's our revenue, which is the important part, which determines what our tax levy is going to be. And our tax levy for next year is under 1%. It's within the tax levy cap. It's going to be at 0.5%, and that is, we were able to keep it there because of the additional state aid. You can see that that's up 13.9%. We've used some reserves from our appropriated fund balance and other reserves. We have our payment in lieu of taxes, tuitions, reimbursements, refunds, interest, donations has basically stayed the same. But being within the levy at the 0.5 enables us to keep our 3.78 expenditures and also stay within the tax levy cap. And as I said, just a very quick review. We've presented these over the past few months in depth, all parts of the budget. And just a reminder that the voting will take place at all the local voting places, Aquabog, Riley Avenue, Phillips Avenue, and the Roanoke Avenue catchment area. For the last year, we'll be at the high school. Very exciting. I was at Roanoke today. It's really coming along, and we'll be in really good shape for September. So next year, Roanoke voters will be able to vote in that building. So at this point, I'll take any questions from the board. You've heard it many, many, many times, I know. Thank you.
Thank you. My colleagues on the Board of Education and I would like to invite anyone in the public up to the podium to express any comments or questions about this budget. Anyone? No? Okay. And there's no questions from us? None? Okay. As a reminder to the public, please remember to vote on May 17th. Polls are open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. at the 4 voting locations. You will vote at the elementary school where a child living in your house has gone to school, except for Roanoke Elementary School. These residents will vote at the high school. Seeing no one else who wishes to participate, I hereby declare this hearing closed at 7:19 p.m. Next item is the proposed repair reserve fund expenditures. So we are now holding a hearing on proposed use of $207,660 from the repair reserve, which was established by the voters in May 2015. Under the provisions of Section 60 of the General Municipal Law of the State of New York, a public hearing is required in most circumstances prior to the use of repair reserve funds. I therefore declare this hearing open at 7:20 p.m. If there are no objections from my fellow board members, I would offer the floor to Nancy Carney, Superintendent of Schools, who will deliver a brief presentation on the proposed repairs that the administration wishes to see accomplished. Ms. Carney.
Thank you. Very exciting. We're coming to the last stages of the original bond, and as we've said at many of our meetings, the repair reserve has been used. As anyone knows, when you're doing renovations, you come up with a lot of things that you want to do when you want to cover things, in addition to things that we couldn't include in the original bond. We're now coming to fruition with both Roanoke and Pulaski, and very confident. I was in both buildings today that they will be ready for September 1. The last time we approved the repair reserve was the painting. It looks so nice in Roanoke right now with just the hallways brightened up with all the new painting. And as I said, we're just using the repair reserve to be sure that we're bringing all of our buildings to a place where they need to be as we come to the end of our bond. As you know, the repair reserve was authorized by the voters in May 2015 to fund up to $5 million in repairs. It does function as a saving account and is funded by unused funds at the end of each year. And this reserve has been used to supplement needed repairs for projects, as I just said, that were not included in the bond, as well as projects that you look at that you need to do as you're going forward with the work. And what does repair mean? Any occasional work of a recurring nature, which is intended to restore to a satisfactory condition anything which is decayed, deteriorated, whether has become broken, torn, or inoperable. And how do we access the repair reserve? As we've done in the past, the administration identifies projects that are needed, along with obviously our construction manager and architects. The Board of Ed holds a public hearing on the projects to educate themselves and the public as to the intended repairs and total costs, and the Board of Ed votes to authorize the use of the repair reserve funds. And as you're aware, the board participates, board members, particularly Mr. Meyer, participates in our weekly meetings and is aware and informs the board on issues that we address. The projects that we're asking for approval of are windows frames, window shades, and door frames at Pulaski Street Elementary School. This is things that have been done in the other buildings, as you're aware. Also the gas oil burner, window shade, boiler ceilings, bathrooms, window walls and structural supports at Roanoke Avenue Elementary School. As you're aware, Roanoke and Pulaski are the two oldest buildings in the district, and we're trying to be sure that these buildings look as beautiful as our other buildings do when they're completed. At the high school, the elevator equipment, ceilings, and public address system does need to be addressed. Those are things that came about after the work was completed there. And that's what we're asking for the expenditures for at this hearing. I'll take any questions you have at this point.
Any questions? No? Okay, since there are no questions from the board, before I close the hearing, are there any comments or questions from members of the public? Yes.
Hi, Greg Fisher. First question is, we're still using oil at Riverhead? Not gas, exclusive?
We use both, correct, Mr. Schneider? We use oil and gas.
Is there a reason for us to use oil at all?
Wish Mr. Kennedy was here. This is a little out of my expertise. If you will email me your questions with regards to that, I'll be happy to.
Because converted to gas, it would be more efficient and lower cost.
Go ahead, sir.
Completely 100% gas. Was expected.
The building primarily runs on gas, but there is a backup in case of a problem, so that the building can be operable for students. So having that backup, I think is smart.
That's good to have backup. I don't see that we run out of gas. The other question is, what's the balance of the reserve after these expenditures?
That's a good question, and I think, what are we going to be up
It's going to
to?
be at about $700,000, but depending on how the budget finishes this year, if there's any extra money that's unspent and the board wants to appropriate that into the reserve, then it will go up.
It's about 700,000.
But at present rate, we're really looking at a rebonding for additional reserve funds the next cycle, probably.
Not a bond.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, this is not a bond. This is
No, it's not a
surplus
bond,
money
All right.
in operating budgets.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? There's an item on our agenda later this evening to authorize the expenditures you have seen displayed during the public hearing. Thank you to all that have participated this evening. Seeing no additional people wishing to speak, and therefore declare this public hearing closed at 7:25 p.m. Our next item is opportunities for candidates. And the following candidates will speak in the order as their names will appear on the May 17th ballot, which is a week from today. And the first one is Mr. Fisher. And as well, we have the 3-minute limit, so Mr. Fisher.
I'll try to use it all. I'm Greg Fisher. I'm first on the ballot. I'm the business-heavy candidate, basically. I have 3 degrees in business, 30 years in consulting for businesses. I am the exclusive SCORE representative, Service Corps Retired Executives, Small Business Administration, Mr. Department of Commerce, for Riverhead Town and residents. I've used my skill and ability in the last year to do some audits based on frequent information requests, and found several areas that needed to be fixed in the county and in the way we do purchasing. Some of that information was turned over to authorities, including the Department of Labor, who was committed to multiple investigations, and there are fines levied and other actions in progress. There's a lot of invoices that should not be paid by this district. There's many invoices that should be sent back or completely lack, for example, certified payroll. There are many, many other problems. I'm hopeful that the voters will choose me to bring me in to clean up some of the issues and to hold the line on what is several wasteful practices, including areas where we're not really using best value in terms of our purchasing process. I also hope again to, as I've announced in previous years, because I did one before, to bring in grant writers and to find other sources of revenue for this district. When I was running for assessor, I discovered that there's about 500 homes out of 15,000 that are off the financial cliff in Riverhead. They are in pre-foreclosure, foreclosure, or actual auction. Then there are another 3 to 4 times as many that have tax, mortgage, or other problems, showing they're in distress as well. So to have between 2,000 and 2,500 homes out of 15,000 distressed doesn't encourage their neighbors to perform the proper maintenance on their properties. So we have an extreme degree of blight in this town. It's important that we control taxes to help handle that issue, and to let people have some more money to take care of their home. As well, there is a relationship, a tight relationship between education and school districts and property values. And of course, making sure we have quality education and high statistics for students will help us economically. And I believe I can help in that area. I'm very educated and appreciate the value of education. Do quite a bit of education with my children who attend Pulaski and Wyoming. My son Clark is learning Asian languages and chemistry with his son. So I really do feel that if we can do more for the students educationally, raise our rating up in the state, we will also help our economic issues in Riverhead. Thank you very much, and Greg Fisher, I'm #1 on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Second on the ballot is Ms. Downs. She was unable to make it tonight, attend tonight. So #3, Mr. Dorn.
Spin this around, but then I'll get the camera out of the left. No offense, I'm going back to you guys for that. First, I'd like to thank the Board of Education, Superintendent Carney, and the taxpayers of Riverhead for giving me the opportunity to speak to you tonight. My name is Christopher Dorr. I'm the father of 3 twin 7th graders and a 2013 graduate of Riverhead High School. I reside in Bailey Hollow, and I'm active in the Riverhead community. I also hold a bachelor's degree in economics and a master's degree, an MBA from Clarkson University. I've coached PAL football for the past 6 years and plan on continuing to do so. I'm a past president of Riverhead Lacrosse Club, and I'm currently a Section 11 referee for both boys and girls lacrosse. For the past 3 years, I've been humbled and lucky enough to serve Riverhead as a trustee of the school board. I truly believe that humble and lucky are the words to describe this position. The taxpayers of Riverhead chose me to express their feelings and beliefs into school decisions and policies. I am willing to listen to all residents of Riverhead and consider what they have to say on any issues they find important. I'm currently employed by the Plainview Old Bethpage School District as an instructional support and data specialist. In this position, I'm responsible for staying on top of all New York State educational mandates and deadlines. From this position, I am able to bring that knowledge to the Riverhead Central School District. I am aware of the mandates that are affecting our district in regards to our E&L students, the new APPR process, the tax caps, changes in academic requirements, and testing of our students. I believe the biggest challenges that are facing the Riverhead District is how to maintain the excellent programs, academics, arts, athletics, and the multitude of opportunities we provide students as we are balancing meeting state mandates, while voicing our opposition to the heavy burden that some of these mandates have placed on our students and taxpayers. While many of our residents feel that some of these mandates are unfair, they are still currently educational law and have to be met. We need to work together as a community and school to ensure that our voices are heard by our representatives in Albany to make significant change. In Riverhead, I was able to work with the current board to ensure that every year we are able to produce a budget that met the tax cap and provided no cuts in services. We were able to use the bond that the taxpayers have so graciously approved to upgrade all of our buildings. I'm so proud of our district and our students for the wonderful achievements they obtained. Our sports teams consistently make the playoffs. Our NJROTC won the regional competitions. Our orchestra has won national recognition, and every musical and theater production is amazing. Additionally, our academic programs and clubs compete and gain great recognition. Our students are achieving well-rounded, outstanding academic success. Through our partnership with Suffolk Community College, one of our 2016 graduates is going to attend college as a junior in his first year. Riverhead Central School is doing great things. 3 years ago, I was humbled by this community when they elected...
Sorry.
3 years ago, I was humbled by this community when they elected me to this esteemed position. People ask me why I want to continue in a thankless job where there's controversy and high criticism. I receive my thanks every June when I stand under the tent on the football field and shake hands with every graduate. I see the excitement of a great future in each of their eyes, and I know that Riverhead Central School has done everything they can do to prepare them. Please remember to vote on May 17th for Chris Dorr, third choice on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dorr. Number 4 on the ballot is Mr. Harney.
How's everybody doing? My name is Brad Harnick. I ran for school board last year. I'm running again this year. The reason why I'm running is because I want to continue to see this school district get better. I don't know if any of you have ever gone to a barbecue or outside of Riverhead and you hear some of the things that are said from people, you let your kids go to Riverhead? My idea with that is, of course I let my kids go to Riverhead. If you want to say all negative things about Riverhead, it seems to me that you don't really understand the community that we live in. Without getting into too much detail, I have 3 sons in this school district, and I'm happy they're in this school district. This school district's like a melting pot. It gives them an opportunity to interact with all races, creeds, colors, nationalities, and that's what I wanted my kids to grow up with. A little bit about myself. I graduated from Sachem High School in 1987. I was on the USS Detroit in 1988. I enlisted into the Navy right out of high school. After I got out of the Navy, I decided to take a try with college. I went to Suffolk Community College in Selden. I got my degree in liberal arts. I became a conductor for the Long Island Railroad in 1998, actually completing 18 years. And I value education so much. To set the right example for my own kids, I decided to go back to school. I went to St. Joseph's College. I got my bachelor's degree in organizational management because I wanted to set that example for my children. And I would hope, I truly hope, because they are teenagers, that they understand why I did it and how hard it was to do it in my 40s rather than to do it as a young adult. Some other things that I did while I was at St. Joseph's College, I got a certificate in leadership and supervision. I got a certificate in management. I'm also a union rep for Long Island Railroad. Since I've been working for the railroad, I've been a union rep for a total of 9 years. I was a committeeman for 8 years, and I'm currently the legislative rep for my union. I coached baseball for Riverhead for about 7 years, and I also ran the Cub Scouts in Riverhead for 9 years. I was the Cub Master. And that's who I am. I'm doing this because I want to be a team player. I want to understand how things work. I'm willing to learn. And I want to make sure that the taxpayers' money is being spent wisely. And to end it, I'm not afraid to ask questions. I'm not afraid to say, something that might be sensitive to ask and get an answer and a reason why. And that's it. My name is Brad. I'm number 4. Brad Harnick, number 4 on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 5 on the ballot is Mr. Kruger. Oh, you couldn't attend. Sorry, I didn't know. Number 6 on the ballot is Amelia Lance. Ms. Lance.
Mr. Harnick, I can trump that. At 50, I decided to go back to college.
Touche. Good job.
Good evening. How is everyone tonight?
Good.
Good.
Good. First off, I'd like to thank my family for coming out and supporting me tonight. It really means a lot to me. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Amelia Lance, and I am seeking my third term on the Riverhead Central School District Board of Education. Of my 6 years on the board, I have served 5 as a trustee, and currently I am serving as the vice president alongside our president, Dr. Kukunis. Each time I approach a podium, we've gone to other civic associations and will continue to go to other civic associations. I always struggle with what will I say. I don't want to repeat myself over and over, the same thing that we all focus on in previous elections. And it occurred to me that we have been through much of this together, and our community resembles a family. As a family together, we have high voter approval for our budget, and that is because of you. This board has remained well under the 2% tax cap since its inception, and that is for you. With our combined efforts, we have passed and monitored a $78 million bond and $7 million worth of repairs district-wide. Excuse me. Providing our children with a safe and healthy environment. This board, through controlled property taxes, has been able to keep the STAR rebate. This board has campaigned for state aid, and combined with retirements has allowed us to hire 26 new teachers this coming year. That is very exciting. I express my excitement to Ms. Carney probably daily. This board took on a monumental task and dreamed of moving our transportation department, and you said yes. And despite our limited funds, we have enhanced and introduced new student programs. And together we have honored our veterans with a well-deserved tax rebate. Thank you, Mr. Harnick. Thank you.
Thank you.
I respectfully ask for your vote on May 17th to continue representing our family. Because in the end, it is not about you or me, us or them. It is about how we all truly desire the same, and that is to provide our children with a quality education that would make this family proud. Thank you so much. I'm last on the list on the ballot, but they always save the best for last. Please vote Amelia Lance, May 17th. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we should turn around the podium.
Oh. Thank you.
Because next up is opportunities for members of the community to address the Board of Education on agenda topics only.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you. Anybody questions on the agenda? Yes.
Sal Mastropolo, Calverton. Item D, approval of rejection of bids. Number 2, the synthetic turf field at Riverhead Middle School. Is that the turf field that was put up for referendum last year?
Yes.
Okay. It says that you're rejecting the bids. How many bids came in? And can you tell me the dollar costs of each of them?
It's getting the information.
Thanks.
There were 4 bids. They're being rejected because there were errors in the submission by the contractors in the bid documents where they did not fully answer the questions on qualifications. So this is not being rejected necessarily on budgetary reasons, but more on failure of the contractors to answer the bid documents fully and completely. So abundance of caution for the process, we're rejecting the bids and rebid the project.
Okay, so I guess you just answered my next question, which was, are we going out for bid again, or are we going to drop the issue given the concerns about safety?
We're going out to bid again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Moving on to Councilmember, item F. I'm sorry. Covered the approval of contract.
Item B?
The years on the council improvement. Where, for 23,600, where are those funds coming from?
where the funds coming from?
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Schneider?
Is that on the agenda or not?
Yes.
Approval of contract?
Okay, so that's, that's coming out of the money that was approved by the voters for the reconstruction of the new bus garage.
So that was
Coming out
part
of
of the
fund.
fund that was used to purchase the contract?
That fund was also approved by the voters for reconstructing the building, and this money is specifically for a specialty engineer to work on the propane fueling tank that's going to be installed there, which was described to the voters in the process. This is specialty work, and BDS is hiring a specialty engineer to do the work that's needed.
And this is for buses that are propane fuel?
This is for the transportation department that's moving to Edwards Avenue, and we're putting a propane tank there so that the buses can fuel on site.
And is that because we currently use, what is it, Pecana propane
Yes.
to fuel buses? So by this, we will have our own
Yes.
facilities? Thank you.
Anyone else? Since there is sorry. Consent agenda. Motion? Thank you, Mr. Grass, second. Mr. Dorn, all in favor? Motion carried. Since there's no old business, new business, item A, approval of expenditures from the repair reserve funds. Motion? Thank you, Ms. Lynn, second. Mr. Meyer, any further questions? All in favor? Motion carried. Item B, approval of contract. Motion. Thank you, Mr. Ross, second. Thank you, Mr. Dorr. Any further questions? All in favor? Motion carried. Item C, approval of bid awards. Motion. Thank you, Mr. Myers, second. Mr. Gross, any questions? All in favor? Motion carried. Item D, approval of rejection of bids. Motion. Thank you, Mr. Gross, second. Mr. Meyer, any questions?
Well, I believe it was brought up from Mr. Mesh, but Mr. Schneider, is there anything else with the rejection of the synthetic turf field that, did you answer the question completely? I'm just kind of wondering why we rejected it. Ms. Carney?
The documents that were submitted by the contractors were in complete form, and the law requires that we reject the bids and do it again. So
Okay.
we're going to go out hopefully by the end of the week and have it back 5 business days later.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else?
Just want to, when we receive the bids again, just to emphasize the warranties, there's been documentation about the synthetic, the artificial grass splitting, like split ends and hair, that have been in lawsuits over warranty, just to, when we go to bid again, to look over the warranty.
All in favor? Motion carried. Item E, approval of change orders. Motion. Thank you, Mr. Myers. Second. Thank you, Mr. Gross. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried. Item F, appointments to board of registry and approval of vote workers for the special district meeting. Motion. Thank you, Mr. Gross. Second. Thank you, Mr. Dorr. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried. At this time, district news. Ms. Carney.
Thank you. As many of you may have read in the newspaper or online, this week the Riverhead High School was visited by Commissioner Arlene Gonzalez Sanchez, and she's the Commissioner of the State Office of Alcoholism and Substance Abuse Services. And the Commissioner chose to kick off a statewide campaign at our high school, working to educate our students and parents about the dangers of alcohol and drug abuse among teenagers, particularly during the prom and graduation celebration season. And the Talk to Prevent campaign is coordinated locally by a true gem that we have in our community, which is the Riverhead Community Awareness Program, known as CAP. And very appreciative of all that its director, the director, Felicia Scocosa, does, working with our school and with our students and the staff of CAP on an ongoing basis, really educating them about the dangers of drug and alcohol. I'd also like to thank Commissioner Gonzalez Sanchez, the high school seniors, Stephanie Ambrosio and Samantha Dunn. They did an outstanding job speaking to their classmates about making good choices. And I want to thank Riverhead Town Councilman John DeLevy, Peconic Bay Medical Center President Andrew Mitchell, and Police Officer Dennis Kavanaugh. They all joined us today for a kickoff event here in the cafeteria. And really appreciative. It was the CAP that invited the commissioner to come to Riverhead, and they chose Riverhead because of all the good work that CAP is doing with our schools as a place to showcase really the whole community coming together to support our kids in making good choices during this time frame. Unfortunately, every year we do see tragedies around the nation, and want to be sure that we provide our kids with all the education and support so that they do make good choices as we get into this season. Also just want to mention that our high school students teamed up with peers from McCann Mercy for the 2016 ALS Ride for Life. Mr. Pendergast once again participated along with our students in his 19th annual Ride for Life. This takes place each May to celebrate the National ALS Awareness Month. This year's ride, entitled River to River, Researching a Cure, began in Riverhead on Monday, May 9th from the Peconic River Park and concludes Saturday, May 21st in Manhattan. Our high school students contributed over $300 as part of their participation in the fundraiser. The Ride for Life also rode past Phillips Avenue School, who cheered the riders on as they continued their ride across Long Island onto New York City. Phillips Avenue Elementary School has committed themselves to becoming a gold sponsor, donating over $3,000. The Phillips teachers and some of the district administrators have pledged to execute their bucket challenge sometime soon when it's warmer, and I think I will be getting a bucket of ice over my head. It should be fun. Also at the high school, 3 Riverhead High School ensembles participated in World Strides on stage in Boston, Massachusetts, April 22nd through 24th. They brought home just a busload of awards. Particularly noteworthy was the achievement by the Chamber Orchestra, which won the highest honor and was invited to the Festival of Gold on the West Coast next year. I received some very nice letters from parents who chaperoned on that event, just really commenting on just our students. They took over 90 students, how wonderful they were, and how terrific the teachers were. And it was just a really nice event for our kids to participate in. And we thank all the parents who did chaperone as well, and the teachers who set everything all up. Kudos to them, they made us really proud. At our elementary level, our first grade teachers throughout the district are working with the Suffolk County Cornell Cooperative Extension to set up saltwater tanks in every first grade classroom throughout the districts. And these tanks are used for the students to observe marine science as part of their overall science project, our program. And we do thank and appreciate Cornell University and the Cooperative Extension. They work with us on a yearly basis, and really appreciate the partnership that we have with them for our students. And speaking of science, just want to congratulate Acrobot kindergartner Braden McLeod. He won honorable mention at the Brookhaven National Labs Annual Science Fair, and Braden did all of her own writing and artwork on her boards in a very clear and graphic way, and award. And then just to mention in our athletic program, we're also proud to congratulate our high school student Matthew Hubbard. He was part of a duo of rowers for the East End Rowing Institute. He and his partner won a gold medal competing in the junior varsity double sculls at the Long Island Junior Championship in Oyster Bay. And I just want to mention some upcoming events. This Thursday, the PTO has invited me to do a budget presentation for PTO members and families of the community, along with all the board candidates, to present why they're running for the board and to answer questions. That's going to be this Thursday in the large group instruction room here at the high school, beginning at 6:30. Also, we have our annual Art in Action Night this Friday, May 13th, beginning at 7 p.m. Here in the cafeteria and the gymnasium. It's really a wonderful event to come and see. The artwork is amazing, and there will also be activities for young children to create art while they're at the event. Also, we have our second annual Run to Remember event, which will be this Sunday, May 15th. It begins at 9 o'clock here at the high school. Early registration is $20 and late registration is $25 the day of the race. Please contact high school assistant principal Patrick Burke if you have any questions. We began this last year. It's a wonderful event just to get together, think about people who have meant a lot to you in the past. It's a walk event if you choose to walk with children, or if you choose to run. It can be a very competitive event, and all of the proceeds go for scholarships for our high school students. And finally, just please remember to vote on May 17th for our annual budget vote and Board of Education election. Polls will be open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. at all your local polling stations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Carney. Opportunity for board members. Mr. Meyer.
Quick things, I know we kind of, on our agenda, we go through pretty quick, but under consent agenda, we did approve some new hirees and then some retirees. So I'd like to wish both groups good luck. And then I'd just like to get an update on the acquisition of the solar for the schools.
So the state agency overseeing the program has changed solar providers. The previous company is not in business anymore for various reasons. And so we have contact with the new company that the state is doing business with. As soon as the election's over, we're going to get together with them and see what they're able to offer to us.
Has there been any, I mean, it should probably be the same program and all that, just a different supplier, right?
That's my understanding, but I want to have a face-to-face meeting with the new company and see what sort of contract they're offering.
Excellent, thank you. That's all I have.
Anyone else? Opportunity for RCFA.
Just wanted to basically say thank you for putting together a budget that does its best. I mean, all the really well-versed candidates talked about all the challenges that we're facing, and we're definitely doing our best in the trenches. And I mean, it's undeniable that everybody is doing their best to give us what we need to go at the best that we can. So thank you, and thank you to certainly the taxpayers, because you can do all the work you want, but if they don't give us what we need, we don't stand a chance. So thank you for putting that together, and rest up after it's all over.
Thank you. Opportunity for members of the community. Yes.
Hi, Rick Bishop, just as member of the community and I was a candidate. I just wanted to say on the solar, the first thing is, under no condition should you lease the roofs. This should be a purchase, even if you have to bond it. Leasing is not a good way. If you own the equipment, and we do it on our own, we get net metering. If you do the leasing, you wind up getting, 1/10 of what that net metering would be. So it's almost never cost efficient. So please consider that as your authority. The second thing is a little more disturbing. When I was in schools this week, I saw electioneering in the schools, including distribution of campaign signs. That's in violation of federal laws. So perhaps there could be something done for the, without going into any details, it becomes an executive session issue right away. If you would please consider distributing the information necessary, or doing training necessary, or having people sign off on a memo where they would understand that electioneering in the school is never appropriate. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Public Ground, Riverside. I just want to let you know that on the 18th of June, the East End Motor Coalition, which I'm co-chair of, will be having their 16th annual award ceremony for the fifth graders from Roanoke School for their Juneteenth essay contest. And it will be great to have participate from the school. This is a grassroots organization that our main purpose is just getting people to the polls to vote. I don't care who you vote for, but you must go to the polls to vote. And we have 3 prizes. There's no first, second, and third prize. But each student that wins gets a $50 gift card. And this comes out of the organization's pocket. We don't have any funding. As a matter of fact, last year, Riverside Rediscovered gave us $250 grant for buying food to get hot dogs, hamburgers, and stuff like that, for the kids' sodas. And this year, they upped it up to $500. They are giving us, they're donating the 3 $50 gift cards, plus giving us $350 for food. And it's a great afternoon. We have food, we have music, and it's awesome to hear the kids read their essays for their parents and for the school kids. And also, each class that has a winner gets free ice cream the next Monday. So it's a great event, and it would be wonderful if I could see some of your faces there. Thank you.
Mr. Brown, what was the date again?
June 18th.
June 18th, Saturday.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, Angela Walden, I just have a quick question. I was picking up the children today, and I noticed that they started to install poles. It looks like for the back of the baseball field. Is that correct, that they're installing that in the road?
I'm not aware of that. I'll look into it.
Yeah, I was just concerned. I didn't realize either, and I was going to speak to Mr. Kent about it, but I was surprised at where they installed it. Previously, it was all the way in the back where the baseball field is. So I don't know if everybody's familiar with the kids playing. It was in the back, but a tree fell and it actually took down the whole structure. But where they installed these new poles, which it looks like it's for the baseball, the back, it's right by the new equipment. So it's right by the playground. And I'm saying to myself, well, 9 times out of 10, I have 2 children. One kid plays a sport, the other one comes, they play in the playground. So now I'm thinking it's right in the middle of the playground. So if a child's playing a sport, you're playing baseball, that ball's flying, especially little kids. So I was just curious at what that structure was, and I didn't speak to Mr. Ken about it because it's just this afternoon, so.
If you could send me an email,
Yeah,
I'll make sure I get
absolutely.
the information for you
Okay.
and let you know, and I'll look into it first thing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
I have a question about the transportation department. Did they continue after this transportation or what?
Ms. Thompson, could you speak into the microphone because it's fading out?
Question about the transportation department. Do we have 2 directors or one? No, the transportation.
2 co-directors.
Okay, so they're sharing a position?
Yes.
So if we parents have a concern, we ask for either one or?
I don't know how they split the responsibilities. Either one.
The person.
Okay, so it's not that there's one director and an assistant. They're both co-sharing your position?
They're co-directors.
Okay.
Thank you. I'd like to answer to Mr. Fisher's question. Okay.
Better not ask. Much better. I've already submitted the information to the.
It's okay, Mr. Fisher. It wasn't about that. Anyone else? No? Okay. Motion to adjourn. Thank you, Ms. Lance. Thank you, Mr. Ross. All in favor? Motion carries.